See. Yes. Again, welcome to Clasital's Academic Reading Magic the Features question and answer session. Today, I am going to share with you some tips and strategies. We are going to look at two texts together. One is from passage 1, its name Mungomen, and the other one is from the passage 1 2, its name is Pollution in the Bay. So they are both from section 1. And Jelly, do you want to say something or is it a hello?
No, ma'am. I want to ask you one question. The matching information and matching features are two different topics or same topic?
There are two different topics. In this one, you are going to see in the matching the features one, you are going to see some names or sometimes some dates, but you will see some names here. It can be some names or like the Americans, Chinese, blah blah something. So they are two different things.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, let's look at our tips and strategies. When you have seen this type of question, read the categories in the statement first and select the keywords and that you can easily spot in the text. For example, you will be given some name. Look for these names in the passage. Skim the text quickly and find that names and read those sentences or those paragraphs. Read the relevance part of threads? Yes. The keywords can be the names in the categories and the words in the statement that you can easily spot in the passage. Look for synonyms and paraphrasing. Like always, they will change the statement or they will summarize the text somehow. And do not fail for trap information. Maybe keep reading the text actually. Maybe you are given a sentence and information and you think that this is not actually match exactly with my statement. Then if you think so, keep on reading, you will see the information. Let's say you couldn't find it and you don't have any time, make an educated guess to do not leave them blank. To write something, maybe you will get a point. Let's continue with our questions. Yes, passage 1 is Mungomen. I have read it. This is a nice one. You can, if you like reading those things. I like IELTS passages. By the way, they are very informative, and I think this is a nice one. Okay, we have some names. Use the information in the passage to match the people with opinions or deeds below. Write the appropriate letter A to F in the boxes 1 to 8. Now it says write the letters. We are not writing the names, we are only writing the letters. This is an important part of it. I have seen that people are writing the names, and if you write something different than what the question asks for from you, you will lose points. So we are going to write only letters. Jim Bowler, Alan Thorne, P. Debo, Jim Flannery, Chris Stringer, and Rainer Grun. Now we have some names, and in our paragraph in our text, we will look for these names. Okay. He was searching for an ancient lake and came across the charred remains of Mungo lady who have been cremated. Charred like burned. Professor who holds a skeptical attitude towards the reliability for DNA analysis on some fossils. Hmm. Skeptical. Skeptical means He is not sure about it. Reliability for DNA analysis on some fossils. Not every fossils, but some fossils. This can be important too. Yes, Anjali.
Ma'am, you are reading something. We are not able to see your screen.
You can't see my screen?
No,
Why is that? How are the others? Can you see it? Hmm. Um.
I will rejoin them.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Professor Hu's determination of the age of Mungomen to be much younger than the former results, which is older than blah blah years, 62,000 years. So they will do some aging. Determining the age of Mingawan has little to do with controversy about the origins of Australians. Okay. Research group who recovered biological proof the first Neanderthal found in Europe. Okay, it looks easy to answer. A spurt of the idea that Australia's megafauna was extinct due to the hunting by ancient human beings. Okay, instead of keeping arguing a single source origin, a multi regional explanation has been raised. Climate change rather than the prehistoric human activities resulted in megafauna's extinction. Now, let me send you the questions. Good. Let me send you the names too. Right. Okay. Jim, Alan, Piribo, Tim, Chris, and Rainer. Let's go to the paragraph. I am looking for a name first. I shall look for a name. Let me see. Megafauna were abundant. The Lake Mungo. Mungo man lived around the shores of Lake Mungo. He was young, lost his two lower canine teeth. 1.7. His molar teeth become worn. His bones act, especially his right elbow, to throw spears over many years, and died when he was 50. Mungoman is the oldest known example in this world of such a ritual. His family mourned for him and carefully buried him in the lunate on his back with his hands crossed in his lap and sprinkled the red ochre. It is a flower. Jim Bowler, this treasure trove, historical founded, blah blah. He was searching for the ancient lakes and came across the charred remains of Mungo lady who had been cremated. Very good. I think so too. What is the number one? Sorry. He was searching for ancient lakes and came across the charred remains of Mungo lady who had been cremated. Cremated. Yes, I think this one is clear. Why? Ah, okay. It was Jim Bowler. And did I say this? The questions not are in the same order, so I can see any question in any order. Maybe I will find the answer for the second question at the last paragraph. So I don't know. So that's why it is a little bit difficult. But we have the names. Okay, let's continue. At blah blah second skeleton Mungoben men using carbon dating, a technique only reliable around 40,000 years old. The skeleton was first estimated at blah 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 years old. The comprehensive study of 25 different sediment layers at Mingo concludes that both graves are 40,000 years old. Hmm, is it this one? Mhm. Where was it? Hmm. But they are not saying the professor whose determination of the age of Mungo men to be much younger than the former result, which is older than blah blah years. Where were we? Huh. This is somehow different. No, this is not this. Hmm. So this is not like 62 years old. This is not this. Okay. This is not the answer. Uh-huh. This is much younger than. Hmm. Okay. Okay, let's continue from here. This is much younger than the 62 years 62 years Mangovan was attributed in 1992 by a team leader led by Professor Alan Thorne of the Australian National University. Let's look at the question 3 again. Be careful, my students. We have two scientists, and one of them's determination, one of them guessing about the age is younger than one of them. One of them is guessing the age of the Mungo man younger than the other one. But which one is this? Is it Professor Jim Bowler or Alan Thorne? Okay, let's continue. So you're saying 3 is B. Let's continue. This is much younger than the 62 years Mangovan was attributed in 1991 by a team led by Professor Alan Thorne of Australian National University. So we have here Professor Alan Thorne, the modern day story of science of rival, because Thorne is the country's leading opponent of the out of Africa theory that Homo sapiens had a single place origin. Hmm. So the Thorne is opposed to the out of Africa theory. Okay, let's continue. Dr. Alan Thorne supports the multi-regional explanation that the modern humans arose simultaneously in Africa, Europe, and Asia from one of our predecessors, Homo erectus, who left Africa more than 1.1 million years ago. If Mungovan was descended from a person who had led Africa in the past 2000 years, Thorne argues, then his mitochondrial DNA should have looked like that of their other samples. Okay, it seems it says passage 1, but it is difficult. What do you think? Is it difficult or maybe 2, but we don't know yet? Maybe 7. What do you think? Maybe yes. Did I say this? I am so sorry. It says you may use any letter more than once. So sorry about it. Maybe it can be 7. I will put here dup, 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 B2. If you are not certain about your answer, you can put it like this and you can change it later. Let's put a question mark too. And if you're not certain about it, put a question mark here too. Let's see. Beaver. Here. Okay. However, out of Africa's purchase are not about to let go of their beliefs because of because Australian research. Professor Chris Stringer from the blah blah research community world would want to see the work repeated in other labs before major conclusions were drawn to Australian research. But even assuming the DNA sequences were correct, Professor Stringer said, it could just mean that there was much more genetic diversity in the past than it was previously realized. There is no evidence here that the ancestor of this Australian fossil goes back to a million or 2 million years. It is much more likely that the modern humans, blah blah. Hmm. Chris Stringer. Let me see. He's saying E. I think so too. Okay, how do I understand this? Let me see. He says, even assuming the DNA sequence were correct, it could just be there was much more genetic blah blah things. And he's not certain about it because he says research committee would want to see the work repeated in other labs before major conclusions were drawn from the Australian research. So he is not certain about the results or not about the DNA thing. So who was it? Stringer, and it goes here E. Do you agree with me? I have sent the statements before. Let me send them again. Tup, tup, tup. This is the full of it. I think we agree on this subject. Okay, let's continue. We have done 1, 2, 3, and 7. 5C. Woohoo, you're fast. Let me see. For Bowler, I have Bowler again. These debates are irritating speculative distraction from the study's main findings. Add blah blah years old, Mungoman and Mungolese remain Australia's oldest human burials and the earliest evidence on Earth of cultural sophistication, he says. Hmm. So I see a much more like sociologist view here. Modern humans had not even reached North America by this time. In 1997, Padu's research group recovered an DNA fingerprint from the blah blah skeleton uncovered in Germany in 1865, the first Neanderthal remains ever found. I think so too. Who was it? Football? I can't say this. What do you think? I think it is a little bit obvious here. I think so too. Here. Hmm. Okay, let's continue. In 92, Turns team studied three techniques to date Mangaman at blah blah years old, and it stands by its figures. It dated bone, teeth, animal, and some scent. Bowler has strongly challenged the results ever since. Dating human bone is notoriously unreliable, he says. As well, the scent sample Thorne's group dated was taken hundreds of meters from the burial site. You don't have to be a gravedigger to realize the age of the scent is not the same as the age of the grave, says Bowler. I see a rivalry between Bowler and Tron. Okay, do I have any statement? No, let's continue. Torrance counters that Bowler's team used one dating technique while he used three. The best practice to have at least two methods produced. A Tron team member, Professor Rainer Grün, says the fact that the latest results were consistent between laboratories doesn't mean they are absolutely correct. We now have two datasets that are contradictory. I do not have a plausible explanation. Now, however, Thorne says the age of Mungoven is irrelevant to this origins database. I think this sentence gives me Mungoven. Thorne says the age of Mungoven is irrelevant to this origins debate. Mhm. Who was it? It was. No, it was Bowler. Sorry. Hmm. No. Thorn says. Thorn. Alan Thorn. So it is B. Yes. A, E, A, B, C. So we have a spurter of the idea that Australian megafauna, okay, climate change, megafauna's extinction. So we have two options left. Let's look at the megafauna ones. Mhm. Dr. Tim Flannery, a proponent of the controversial theory that America's megafauna was wiped out blah blah years ago in blitzkrieg of hunting by the arriving people. The spirit of the idea that due to the hunting by ancient human beings. Hmm. I have two names, Flannery and Richard. Huh, but here I have just one. So what do you think? Yes, I think so too. Six is D. Tim Flannery, because I think that because in here, yes, of hunting by arriving people. Yes, I missed that. Sorry. Which one is left? Climate change rather than the prehistoric human activities resulted in extinction. Okay. He says the finding that the humans arrived at the lake between blah blah years ago was a critical time in Australia's history. There is no evidence of a dramatic climate change, then he says. Bowler, however, is skeptical of Flannery's theory and says that the Mungo study provides no definite new evidence to support it. He argues that climate change blah blah years ago was the intense that 40,000 years ago was more intense than had been previously realized. Blah blah blah. Yes, I think so. 28A? Bowler. Climate change rather than the prehistoric thing is the. Yes, Bowler said it. Seven is B. Are we agreeing on this one? It is like the instead of keeping arguing single source origin, multi-regional explanation has been raised. So yes, I haven't seen anything about it since I did B. Mm-mm-mm. In here we said B. I think there is some mistake here. I will I will look into this. Yes. Yes. Much younger than. Interesting. I will say the opposites. Let's look at the three again. in this statement it says that we have one professor. It made a guess about the age of the Mungo man, and it was younger than 62,000 years. We have two opposite scientists. One is thinking that is younger than 62 years old, and the other thinks it is 62,000 years old. Let's go to the text. It says we have Jim Bowler is doing something. He thinks that the Munga man is 40,000 years old. The comprehensive study is made and it says Munga man is 40,000 years old. Then I have Professor Alan Thorne. This is much more younger than was attributed in 1992 by a team led by Professor Alan Thorne. So Alan Thorne thinks 62. Alan Thorne thinks Mungo Man, not the things, of course, they are doing experiments, blah blah. Alan Thorne thinks Mungo Man is 62,000 years old. And I have Bowler, and he thinks Mungo Man is 40,000 years old. And I am looking for a professor whose determination of age of Mungo Man to be much younger than the former results. But why is it saying former results? What your former? I know this is complicated, but my answer is to not Alan. It is Jim. Then let's look at here. In its 99 study, Thorne's team used three techniques to date Mungo Man at 62 years old, and it stands by its figures. How about that one? Hmm, this is the answer. This is the answer, Ansa. In here, they say in 99 study, Mungo Man was 62,000 years old, and it stands by its figures. So, who was it? I forget the name. And Jim Bowler dates it back to 40,000 years old. So this is it. It's okay. We have one incorrect answer, and this is really good. Other than that, we did a very good job. Let's go to the next one. I will be uploading these questions to our website too, to the Clasital too, to practice materials parts, and you can solve them from there too. Okay, it says pollution in the bay. It is much more shorter. We have one, two, three, four questions. I have Bill, Brian, and Joseph. Hmm. Okay, it doesn't say that you can use any letter more than once, but I have one, two, three answers and I have four questions, so it is obvious that I will use some of them more than once. Oh, I want to, one second, I want to say something. A, B, C, D, E, F. Where is F? We haven't used F. It is okay not to use every letter. Sometimes in some questions we won't use every letter. For example, in here we haven't used rain or grün, and it is okay in this type of questions. This is a big this is a big tip for you. Let's continue. Pollution in the Bay. Bill Brian Joseph. Gulf of Mexico, Southern and the Everglades, and the Florida Keys. Seagrasses. I think this is their problem, seagrasses. But is risk in the feature of the base extensive beds of seagrasses? A little bit background. Maybe you know it, maybe not. But Florida is a swampy place. Maybe you remember the alligators in those. So it's a very swampy place, and it is very a wild place too. Some snakes, alligators. So it's a swamp basically. Also in danger, coral reefs. Ah, let me send you the statements. I am really sorry. Okay, it says drain drainage system in Everglades is Florida, actually result in high salt water in the bay. Drainage system actually result in higher salt. Okay, restoring water high in nitrogen levels will make more ecological side effects. So I have one thing, and the second thing is restoring water high in nitrogen will make more ecological side effects. When you see more, understand that there is two statements, and one of them is affecting it more in the situation. High nitrogen levels may be caused by the nearby farmland. Okay. Release sewage rather than the nutrients from agriculture areas increase the level of nitrogen. Release sewage rather than the nutrients. Okay. Sewage is like the water coming from the toilets, basically, bad water. Let's see. I am just skimming it to. Joseph and Marine thinks this is a good idea. Oopsie, what is a good idea? Uh, Seasonal freshwater flows into the Everglades are to be restored in order to improve region's health, but they will be run off into the bay. Seasonal freshwater flows into the Everglades to be restored in order to improve. Okay. He believes that a lack of fresh water in the bay is its main problem. He says, lies with a century of drainage in the Everglades, aimed at turning the marshes into farmland. Hmm.
Cover your camera even if there is a remote chance
Yes,
of
what
someone.
is this? He believes that lack of fresh water in the bay is its main problem. The blame, he says, lies in the central drainage in Everglades aimed at turning the marshes into farmland and areas for development. This caused the flow of fresh water into Florida Bay to dwindle, making the water in the bay overall more saline. Saline is more salty. This, he argues, kills the seagrasses, and as the roots, nutrients have been released that defeat the microscopic plants and animals that live in the water. This, he says, why the bays, once crystal clear waters, often resemble pea soup. And in vicious circle, these turbid blooms block out sunlight, causing more seagrasses to die and yet more turbidity. Hmm. Turbidity means like it is not clear. It is like vogue. Okay, 5. Drainage system in Everglades actually result in the high salty water in the bay. I think so too. Joseph Simon says drainage system in Everglades actually result in high salt water in the bay. Do you think so too? 5 is C? Does it sound correct? I think so. Let me send it again. So it is Joseph Simon. I can see it from here with the center of drainage in blah blah farmland and areas for development. Okay, let's continue. Brian disagrees. I'm just skimming them. I am saying some things like blah 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 because I'm thinking they are irrelevant. That's why I am not reading it. I'm just skimming them with my eyes, so my brain actually preserve the information, but I know that I don't have to lose some time for looking at unnecessary information. Okay, from somewhere disagrees. He thinks seagrasses can tolerate much higher level of salinity than the bay actually displays. Fresh water running off from well-fertilized farmland, he says, caused a five-fold rise in the nitrogen levels in the bay. I think what do you think about the 7? 6. Ah, yes. Freshwater running off from the well-fertilized farmland, he says, caused five-fold rise in nitrogen level in the bay. This was like pouring fuel on a fire. The result was mass mortality of seagrass because of increased turbidity from the plankton. So it's a bad thing plankton booms. Dr. Labanut adds that because corals thrive only in waters where nutrients levels are low, restoring freshwater rich in nitrogen will do more damage to the reef. Okay, 7 is B. And other than the 7, I have seen something else too. Very good. 7 is B. And it was what? C? Yes. Restoring water high in nitrogen. Restoring water high in nitrogen levels will make more ecological side effects. Okay. Release sewage rather than the nutrients from agriculture areas increase the level of nitrogen. Okay, let's continue. It was La Pointe. I need Bill now. Yes, Ansa. Thank you for saying that. In the statement 6 it says okay, let's continue. We will look at it later. Let's find the bill. Plausible theory. Bill, nitrogen from the farmland is not the chief problem. Some coral reefs well away from the any nitrogen pollution are dying, and curiously, a few are thriving. Doctor thinks that increased nutrients arriving from local sewage discharges from the thousands of cesspits along the Florida's Keys are the part of the problem. Hmm. Can you see my answer here? Dr. Kruzinski thinks that increased nutrients arriving from local sewage discharges from the thousands of cesspits along the Florida Keys are the part of the problem. Okay, I have 1, 2 answers. Okay, so I can say this is A. Restoring water high in nitrogen levels will make more ecological side effects. For this, yes, my answer is B. Let me send you the because coral thrive only in waters where nutrition levels are low, restoring freshwater rich in nitrogen will do more damage to the reef. So it will have more ecological side effect. Do we see it here? Is it clear? So Brian says that. Dr. Brian says that. Very good. So it goes like this. CBBA. Okay, good. I will upload these activities to our library. Let me see first. Let me share with you our post-lesson survey. I will be very glad if you can fill out that form. And my name is Burçin. Yes, you can see it here. And also, I want to share with you It is very good actually. Of course, I can send it. I'm. It 32 minutes is very good because I am explaining, you are reading, I am reading, I am waiting for you to answer. Let me send you to our library link too. Yes. This is Clasital's page. Let's see, back to home. Here is this is IELTS Academic. As you can see, this is our lesson now, matching features. And from here, profile, language, something. And here, from here, I am going to the library. From the library, you can see the videos on every question type. You can find the tests. You can find our mock tests here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there are practices on listening and reading. So you can find them here too. I have checked the answers. Did you miss that part? Here we have spent 52 minutes and it is 12 of 12. But I will check that question for you. I think there's something problematic with the statement. It says former. Why is it says former? It should say letter. Like this. Let me see. Let's say retake. Mungoman. Professor whose determination of the age of Mungoman much more younger than not the former result. It should be letter. So it's younger than the former result is here. It should be like the other one, the letter result. So I will check that question too. What is it? Let me see. Mungoman. Question 3. Okay, do you have any questions? Or it is the end of my section, end of my... In the real exam, let me see. In the real exam, you will have 20 minutes for each passage. So in here and for each passage, there will be 13 or 14 questions. So in here, okay, we have 8. So you will have 6 more questions. And I remember in this one, we have true or false questions at the Mungoman. I don't remember the other one. So you should spend much more less time for these questions. This is the both ones are taken from the passage 1. It goes like this. It goes like this. Passage 1 is the easiest one, and there are 3 passages for in each in reading part. And the passage 1 is the easiest. Passage 2, passage 3 is the most difficult one. So these are the questions that you will you can answer. Yes, these paragraphs will be in the will be uploaded to practices, but like in 1 hour. So maybe you can do it tomorrow or something, because you will forget a little bit. So it is good for you to not to remember all of the answers. Okay, everyone. This is all from me for today. Hope to see you soon. Tomorrow I have an early lesson. I don't know the hour of it in here. Any tips to manage time? Do not read everything. You should find the relevant information giving in the passage, and it requires practice, practice, and practice. You can only solve the reading questions by practicing reading questions. Yes, Ansa. No, this is Ans. Different persons. Yes. Do you have a question? Okay. In our library, there are lots of practice questions. Do them first. Then you can look for something. Then you can look for more practice questions. Do them first. They will help you. Thank you very much, everyone. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day.